Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. In today's video, I wanted to share with you one of the craziest hair regrowth transformations that I have ever seen from somebody who's been using just regular conventional treatments to treat hair loss. This was actually on Reddit's Tressless subpage community, and I'm just going to go straight into the photos and share with you the before and after transformation and what the poster claims to be in just a short span of 3.5 months. So as you can see, the photo on the top is before treatment, and we can see obvious temple recession and miniaturization afflicted into the frontal portion of the hairline. In the post, he states that he's 25 years of age, moderate hair loss, I'd say, probably around the, like Nora 2 going into a Nora 3, and even some of the mid-scalp thinning. And then the photo on the bottom is after just using a topical solution containing Minoxidil 5% and 0.1% finasteride. And you can just see how much hair this guy was able to resurrect from the dead. He literally has brought back his adolescent hairline, which came down almost touching his eyebrows. Nord 0 with no signs of temple recession or thinning. And it's really crazy to kind of see that someone would even respond this favorably to topical minoxidil. And the crazy part is just how much hair growth that has occurred on the temporal points and closing in, on his hairline and, like I said, on his eyebrows. And this is all in a span of just 3.5 months. I think this by far is definitely one of the top 3 hair reversal treatments that I have ever seen. And this guy is obviously what we consider to be a super hyper responder to the conventional treatment of minoxidil. Typically, we generally see stuff like this in somebody who is responding favorably to a higher dose of oral minoxidil. But this guy was able to see tremendous growth from just topical application of Minoxidil 5% containing finasteride. And, his results to show that he has sufficient sulfotransferase enzymes, also known as SALT1A1, in his hair follicles, which help convert minoxidil into its active form, minoxidil sulfate. And as you guys know, this is required for minoxidil's mechanism of action to promote hair growth. Now, for those who do not have sufficient levels of this enzyme or lack it, you unfortunately are not going to be a good responder to topical minoxidil and will likely have to go with the oral route to see improvement. Now, going down the comments, he stated that he's specifically been on a minoxidil 5% plus the 0.1% finasteride topical for 3.5 months. He also started microneedling 0.5 millimeter once a week at the end of his first month. And he has also started taking biotin supplements for the past 25 days. He said that if anyone thinks that this is fake, thank you for the compliment, and that he just wanted to share his progress with his brothers who are facing the same problem as he is. And, faking it's not going to be beneficial in any way. He said that if you still don't believe him, you can check his older posts, which are on Reddit. Hairline is getting back to how it was when he was 17, but it isn't as dense as it is, and the hairs on his hair are still baby hairs. No side effects as of right now, although he said that he felt dizzy for a week when he first applied the topical, but he stated that he does not have any side effects anymore. Now, I also looked at some of his older posts on Tressless that were posted about a month ago, and he did provide some additional transformation photos at the 40 and 67 day mark, which shows, progressive hair thickening on the temples and the temporal points. And it also shows us as proof that he has a specific mole on his forehead to indicate that the provided photos are of the same person and are supposedly legit. I personally don't think that he's faking his results because the moles do match up, and he has no purpose in lying as he's not promoting the sale of minoxidil or any other products. But I will say that hyper results like these are pretty rare, even more so in just a short span of less than 4 months. And as I've mentioned, this much hair growth is typically seen in those who respond favorably with higher doses of oral minoxidil. But results like these, which are, obviously outliers, still do happen. And it's pretty crazy to see that someone or something as simple as topical minoxidil can be extremely efficacious in certain individuals who happen to respond very favorably. Now, this guy easily saved, thousands and thousands of hair grafts and also thousands of dollars that would have gone towards a hair transplant or two had minoxidil not worked. The only thing that I would highly recommend for this guy is because all of the hairs or most of the hairs that he gained were likely from minoxidil and not from the 0.1% concentration of finasteride that was included in his topical solution. I would highly recommend that you get on oral finasteride or oral dutasteride to prevent the endogenous androgens in the body from miniaturizing the hair follicles. While he did claim to have taken topical minoxidil containing the 0.1% concentration of finasteride, there's still not a whole lot of studies backing up on the efficacy of topical finasteride. And although, it might still offer some protection in inhibiting the conversion of testosterone into DHT, there's going to be far more concrete studies on oral 5-AR inhibitors like finasteride or dutasteride. Because it is being directly metabolized in the liver, it's likely to be far more effective than topical applications. And it's also used previously for benign prostate treatments. And the other things to note here is that this guy will have to continue taking minoxidil long term if he wants to continue to keep the gains, because hairs grown via minoxidil are going to be 100% dependent on minoxidil. You won't be able to maintain the hairs with finasteride because hairs were stimulated using a different drug working in a different mechanism of action. And this is something that you guys have to keep in mind, because a lot of people typically ask me the same questions. Unfortunately, this also applies to any other conventional hair loss treatments currently available. And the moment that you guys stop using treatments is when you're going to start to continue to miniaturize and lose all the gains that you had. But overall, all in all, this guy showed incredible results in just a short span of 4 months, or less than 4 months, from topical minoxidil. And because he responded so favorably in a short period of time, I feel like this guy is going to see more improvement and thickening and additional density over the next few months. And, hopefully the hairs are going to get terminal as long as he continues with his treatment. I think results like this really, kind of give motivation to those who are looking to start treatment, or kind of like in the progress of using treatments and not seeing results. And the bottom line is that you need to stack on treatments that work in different mechanisms of action, that work in a synergistic effect. You also have to be very persistent to get the most out of these treatments in preventing, further progression of hair loss. And also to increase the best chance of stimulating hair growth, we have 5-AR inhibitors like finasteride, dutasteride, anti-androgens. We have RU5841, CB0301, Pyrilutamide, growth stimulants, minoxidil, both topical and oral, various stem cell treatments, microneedling, laser therapy. So there's a bunch out there. Hopefully you guys can, be able to choose and see which one's going to work best for you. So make sure not to give up. There's plenty of treatments currently in the pipelines. And as far as my personal experience with topical minoxidil, I'm using the Costco brand Kirkland, and it's the foam version, which is far less greasy. But I unfortunately have not noticed any crazy improvement like this guy. And because my main concern at this point is the lack of density on the sides. As you guys can see, this is the retrograde alopecia that I've been dealing with. I'm really contemplating on trying out a lower dose of oral minoxidil. Fortunately, I don't have any underlying medical conditions that would cause any potential adverse side effects, pertaining to the heart typically. And I'm really starting to look into maybe 2.5 or 5 milligrams per day. I just need to get a prescription from my primary care physician. And once I do decide to pull the trigger, keep you guys posted. But I will say that I'm really leaning towards trying it out, and it's likely going to be my last resort in trying to stimulate hair growth on the sides. I've used a bunch of other drugs, and nothing seems to be as efficacious. And I'm very hopeful that minoxidil is going to be somewhat effective in being able to kind of thicken up the area. But that wraps up this video, guys. Thanks for all of your support. Leave me some comments on what you guys think of this guy's crazy transformation. Also, if you've been on oral minoxidil, let me know what your results have been. But until then, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for everything, and take care, guys.